Good morning, friends. So today I am gonna make my juice for breakfast and try to get my day moving. I am exhausted. I did not sleep well last night. We had a tornado watch and I just didn't sleep well. I have a little boy who wants to steal a strawberry.
A big and big.
Yeah, you can have those. Actually, why don't you give, oh, those are really big. Why don't you give one of those to Maddie? I think he would really appreciate one. The camera looks a little foggy. There's probably a fingerprint on it. Ah, that's better. So anyway, I am gonna make my breakfast today. I'm just gonna have some juice because I don't really feel like much. It's like super hot out. I actually caved and turned on the AC because it is like, I think it was almost 80 degrees in the house and it's only 8 a.m. Ugh. It's like 98% humidity, I think I saw. My chickens really like these scraps, so that's where these are gonna go. Oh, hey girls. Oh, my pretty layers laid today. Thanks, girls. Tell me those aren't some beautiful eggs. So, kind of a funny story. When I first started getting into like the whole homesteading thing and like trying to figure out what that was going to look like for our family, I knew I wanted chickens. Robert and I both, we both really wanted chickens. And so that was kind of where we started. At our last house, we lived in the city and we could have up to 4 hens. So that's what we had, was 4. We actually had 5, but you know, it happens. And so that was where we started. And we started with just Rhode Island Reds. And so we just had brown eggs. Well, I've always been really fascinated with like genetics and things like that. I remember seeing something on Pinterest, I want to say it was, about all these different fun egg colors, and silly me, I thought that chickens only laid white eggs or brown eggs. That was really what I thought. And so when I discovered that there were breeds that laid really pretty fun colors like bright blues and greens, dark greens, and even like some really dark chocolate colors and some speckled, I was amazed, like absolutely amazed. And I knew that someday I was going to play around with genetics. I haven't done that yet, but I would like to breed selectively for egg color someday, just because I'm fascinated in it and it brings me joy to play with stuff like that. But when I discovered the breed Easter Egger, I told myself that someday I would love to have a chicken that lays a bright blue egg and a chicken that lays a green egg. I told myself I just wanted one of each. And we actually had an incident with our last flock. A predator had dug into their run, and their coop was enclosed to the run. We were beginner chicken keepers, and we made the mistake of not enclosing them in their coop at night, even though we would close them in their run every night, but their run was open to their coop. Some kind of predator dug its way into their run and it was 3 out of the 5. We have 2 from our original flock still. And I think that happened late summer. And so the following spring, on my birthday actually, I went with my mother-in-law during the day to our local feed store and got a few more chickens. And so we ended up with, I think it's a golden comet. I'm pretty sure they sold it as the cinnamon queen, but she looks more like a golden comet. She's much smaller. and her pattern suggests to me that she might be a comet. And maybe there's no difference. I'm not super familiar with all of the different breed traits. Just kind of like a generalized overview of most of them. But anyways, we ended up with a golden comet or a cinnamon queen, one or the other, and 2 Easter eggers. I really love this flock. They are really fun to watch, and their personalities seriously just crack me up. But for a long time, I dreamed about having my own flock of chickens and having pretty colored eggs, and it just so happens that with the amount of birds I was able to get, which I have 5 now, we have 5 chickens, and we will get more someday, but I think we're gonna wait until we move to a country property so we can have lots of chickens. But I love the way that God works, and He gives us the desires of our hearts, and right now I feel like I'm in a season of waiting, and every day when I go out and grab my eggs, I'm reminded that God gives us the desires of our heart when they're in alignment with His will and His word. And I'm learning that He doesn't always say yes to what we want, especially when we want it. Sorry, I gotta make my kid a sandwich because the dog ate his last one. So that's fun. But anyway, I am learning that God doesn't always answer our prayers with yes. Sometimes He says yes, which is great. Sometimes He says no. And then there's other times where He makes us wait and He tests our patience. And He tells us, not yet. I'm finding that I'm not always a very patient person. And I know that God's using that, and He's refining me. He's refining that in me. How am I supposed to ever become more patient if I'm never tested in that patience? These goofy little butt nuggets are my constant reminder that God is telling me, not yet. I find that in the waiting, God likes to give us glimpses. He likes to throw in fun little surprises to let us know that He's thinking about us and that He hasn't given up. That He hasn't given up on giving us our dreams, the desire of our heart. And if I didn't have to wait to get my dream farm, would it really even be worth it all? The waiting is gonna make me appreciate it that much more. I know that someday on my home and on my homestead, there will be plenty of work to do. And while I wish that I had goats to care for, a huge flock of chickens to care for, well, I don't have that here and now. I know it's coming. I know it's coming because I can feel it in my heart. I've learned in the past that when God tells me to wait, it's for a reason. And usually there is so much more on the other side than I ever thought could be possible. And as I sit here and dream, I'm comforted knowing that the hard work is coming and I'm waiting. And until our time comes to get that property that we dream about so we can have our homestead, until then, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to learn and to grow and to take in all the knowledge that I can. So for now, this is going to be my classroom. I bless you, friends. Until next time.